You gave everything, the attention, the consistency, the late night replies, the reassurance, the loyalty, the love, and she felt it for a while. She soaked in your presence like sunlight. She smiled at your efforts. She maybe even said, "You're the one." But then, quietly, suddenly, she shifted. Her tone got colder. Her replies got shorter. Her time became scarce. Her warmth turned mechanical, and you started to panic. You felt it deep in your stomach, didn't you? That growing sense that something wasn't right, but you ignored it, told yourself not to overthink. You tried harder, gave more, waited longer, apologized for things that weren't even your fault. But let me tell you something you were never taught. The moment you chase, you lose. Not because effort is wrong, not because love shouldn't be expressed, but because women don't fall for men who beg. They fall for men who walk away when respect disappears. And I know that's hard to hear when you're hurting. I know you still care about her. I know you still see the good in her. You remember the smile, the connection, the memories, but feelings don't justify disrespect, and love doesn't survive without mutual energy. So here's the truth. If you want her to chase you, if you want her to realize your worth, if you want her to feel the loss of your presence, you have to stop showing up. Not to hurt her, not to play games, not to manipulate, but to reclaim your power. Because the version of you that she fell for wasn't chasing. He wasn't over-explaining. He wasn't checking his phone every 5 seconds hoping she'd reply. He wasn't losing sleep replaying conversations trying to figure out what went wrong. That version of you had weight, he had presence, he had edge, and she felt that. That's what made her feel something. You see, female psychology doesn't respond to desperation. It responds to certainty, distance, and self-worth. When you chase, when you plead, when you wait, you give up your masculine polarity. You surrender your emotional leadership, and that's when she emotionally checks out. But when you pull away, not from ego, but from clarity, that's when everything changes, because silence forces reflection, absence demands attention, distance breeds curiosity, and suddenly, the very same woman who grew distant starts to wonder, why isn't he chasing me anymore? Why does he seem so calm? Did I lose him? Has he moved on? And it hits her that you're no longer under her emotional control. That's when she starts checking your stories. That's when she sends those "hey stranger" texts. That's when she starts asking mutual friends about you. Because now, you've become a mystery again. Now you've reclaimed the one thing she didn't realize was so attractive in the first place, your emotional independence. But this is where most men fail. They start pulling away, but only halfway. They still check her page. They still respond instantly. They still post things just to get her attention. That's not detachment, that's performance. And women can sense it. If you want her to chase you, you must pull away completely. Not as a tactic, not as a manipulation, but because your soul needs peace, because your identity needs repair, because your energy needs protection. You don't have to announce it. You don't need to block her. You don't have to create drama. You just stop pouring energy into someone who no longer reciprocates it, because every second you spend overthinking her is a second you abandon yourself. Let her wonder where you went. Let her feel the void. Let her sit with the silence. And if she doesn't chase you, that's your answer. She wasn't yours to begin with. She was only there because you were doing the heavy lifting. A woman who truly values you will always circle back when she feels your absence, not your presence. But that's only if you truly let go. You can't fake peace. You have to be it. And that means doing the work. That means rebuilding your frame. That means standing in front of the mirror and facing the real question. Why did you chase in the first place? Were you afraid of being alone? Were you afraid of losing love? Were you afraid that if you pulled away, no one would ever come back? Because if so, then her leaving isn't the problem. It's the wound you've been carrying for years, maybe from childhood, maybe from your first heartbreak, the one that whispers, "You're not enough unless someone chooses you." But that voice is a lie, and the only way to silence it is to choose yourself. Women don't chase men who collapse. They chase men who know how to be alone without breaking. They chase men who know how to detach with dignity. They chase men who don't explain, don't argue, don't plead. They just leave quietly. Because that silence, that self-control, that calm withdrawal, it's the loudest statement you can ever make. And it does something powerful to her subconscious. It tells her, this man doesn't need me to feel whole. This man won't dance for crumbs. This man respects himself more than he craves me. That energy, it's rare, it's magnetic, it's irresistible to a feminine heart that still feels a connection. But let's be clear, this isn't about getting her back, it's about getting yourself back. If she comes back, fine. If she doesn't, even better. Because you don't win by winning her. You win by not needing to. You win by remembering that you were whole before her, that your life is rich without her, that your peace is not for sale. And when you really sit with that, you start to see how much of your energy you were wasting, how much of your power you were bleeding out just trying to hold on to someone who is already halfway gone. You begin to realize that chasing a woman who pulls away is emotional suicide. It robs you of your center. It drowns your masculine energy in insecurity, and it destroys the very attraction you're trying to protect. So you stop, not out of anger, not out of revenge, but out of self-respect. You shift your focus from her to you, from pleasing to healing, from seeking her validation to building your foundation. And suddenly life starts to feel clearer. Your mind stops spinning. You sleep better. You eat better. You train harder. You laugh more. You remember who the hell you are. And somewhere along the way, she feels it. She feels that you're no longer emotionally available. She feels that she's no longer your priority. She feels that the leash has snapped and now she's the one looking. But by then, maybe you've outgrown her. Maybe you found peace so deep, even her return can't shake it. That's the power of walking away. That's the truth they don't tell you. You don't chase her back. You don't need closure. You don't need to fix it. You need to pull away and stay there until your nervous system resets, until your mind clears, until your soul feels safe again. Because no woman is worth losing yourself for, not one. You are not here to be the emotional support animal for someone who takes you for granted. You are not here to beg for love. You are not here to fix people who treat your heart like a backup plan. You are here to lead your own life, to build your kingdom, to protect your energy like a warrior, to move like a man who answers to something higher than emotion, discipline, mission, truth. And once you move from that place, everything changes. You stop chasing and start attracting. You stop reacting and start observing. You stop explaining and start commanding. And that woman who once felt you slipping through her fingers, she'll feel it now. But this time, you won't be waiting. You won't be checking your phone. You won't be decoding her texts. You won't be wondering what went wrong. Because now, you've remembered. You were never the problem. You were just giving too much to someone who wasn't ready to receive it. But now you give it back to yourself. And if she chases, she's chasing a man who doesn't flinch, a man who doesn't explain, a man who doesn't bend, because he knows the moment he pulled away, he became what she couldn't ignore.